And we're gonna get started. We're gonna get started today. Hello, Els. We just had a beautiful bowl of tea together in honor of the field that we just created together, which is so cool. Right. We're gonna get into 0 point today because a few things is happening in the cosmos, which is really, really incredible. Firstly, if you haven't, please join me tomorrow for a powerful celestial fire horse portal opening ceremony. You're going to receive a tea ceremony, illumination, activation. There's going to be opportunity for you and I to converse if there's any time left, of course. But I've made time for that, so let's put it that way. There will be space for that. And tomorrow is actually when the gates of the fire horse energetic year actually opens. So a lot of people think that it's on the 17th of February, but actually the year begins tomorrow, cosmically aligning with whatever that's happening cosmically. Okay. So whether you like it or not, or whether you believe it or not, like this is a time that you already probably can feel like, oh, there's this sense of like, let's get it started already. Or maybe you're feeling the fire, or maybe you're seeing a lot of fire all around you. Make no mistake, because the fire horse is riding in tomorrow. Like there is no mistake about this. So if you would like to anchor it in, and this is the clue, the biggest hint I'm going to give to you is that we're not fighting fire with fire here in my world. I'm literally on this mission right now to bring forward stillness, like the real depth of stillness, the real comprehensive understanding of stillness, not just mentally or not just nervous system also, but really a holistic approach to creating a field of stillness, because that is who you are. Like you literally are foundationally an empty field that is luminous. And we just need to really wipe off some of the dust so that you can see that you are the mirror of your reality very clearly. Okay? So if you would like to receive that sort of transmission, please visit my link in bio, and you can see a link to take you to registration. You can still register, and you'll get the link to join me tomorrow live, or a replay if you can't join me live. Okay. So, right now, I want to talk about the 0 point. Take a deep breath with me. When I tapped into the field about how we're going to be moving in this year, how are we going to move with the energy of fire, which is really about charging forward, moving forward. It's really about passion. It's really about, if it's uncontrollable, it's going to be incinerating. It's going to burn you out. If it's underwhelming, it's like you don't know how to go about your life. You don't know where exactly to put your vision into, or your energy into. While we have the fire, we also have the horse, which is very energetically a wood element. So wood element means it's visionary, it's reaching for the stars, it's moving upwards. And in a darker side of it is that it's going to act a bit like a teenager in puberty. So what that means is that in excessive form, it can be like kicking and screaming, like, why isn't this going faster? Like, I need this to go faster. Why isn't this working? Like, everyone else is to be blamed, but not me. Right? But if it's underwhelming, then it will be a stump. Like, it's a tree, but it's not growing. It's like, what's going on here, everyone? Like, do you get what I'm saying? So it's really important to be very honest, no matter what element we're playing with, to return to the essence of who we really are, which is emptiness, which is stillness, which is infinite. The reason why it's important is because every element we see manifested in this world, every matter that we see manifested in this world began from that one infinite source. And please take a deep breath. So even if you said to me, hey, I am a fire element, or you said to me, you know, I'm really strong in my wood element, but I'm not that strong in my fire element, it's only half of the story. The truth is you contain all of the elements because you came from source. You are made of source. So you can't come to me and say you don't have stillness. You can't come to me and say you don't have this or that, because you do, because you are. And so when we talk about the 0 point field, the 0 point for the multidimensional woman, I will assume that you have already done some work, that you have already been on this journey, that you've already been maybe probably really highly spiritual, whatever you want to identify with. Please let me know in the comments so that I can serve you better. And I will say that for a multidimensional woman, the 0 point has to be very, very much clarified, I think, because, and I'm not here to put like rigid terms on it, but I just want to really open up your mind about the 0 point. Because moving forward, separation, if we continue to separate our heart and our mind, it's like we're never going to access the wholeness and the power that we hold within wholeness together. And please breathe, because we are going to be the ones who will be lighting up the delusions of the world from the inside by emptying it. I repeat again, we're going to be lighting up the delusions that you have, that I have, that they have, that we have, by emptying it. This is what you have been preparing for, even though you may not know it. And you may not even want it. You may be in a place where you just want your life to be just like good, okay? Like that's my baseline I'm asking for. It's just to be good. You may be in a place where you're in a chaotic state where you're like, I don't know why everything's falling apart in my life. Or you may be in a place where you're like, things are flying. I'm fucking flying and I need this to go better. I don't know how. And you're starting to feel limited by your logical mind, your intellect, because your intellect tells you that you can grow by 15% this year. But your soul is telling you, I can grow by 200%. Something like that. So with that being said, the more you're able to share with me what's going on in your life, the more I'm able to serve you, because I don't think I want to be here just talking to a blank slate or my own face, which is, you know, bad enough already in some sense. But the fact that I can't see you, I can still feel you energetically. So I'm going to just move with the energy. But if you wish to put your voice and expose the workings of your mind so that I can expose the workings of your mind here together, we can do it together. And I have about half an hour here. Okay. So in the modern world, oftentimes you probably think about your heart and your mind in different terms, like they're separate entities, right? You may think like, my mind wants this, but my heart is telling me something else. Like my mind wants this, my heart wants something else, like all of these things. I'm going to tell you a little bit about what the Eastern tradition usually says, and also very much rooted in my tradition, because I'm born Chinese. I was raised in Malaysia. And I remember going to Chinese school, which is not compulsory, but my dad insisted that I do. I remember getting quite confused because when we learned the word "xing," it literally means heart, but it's being used in so many other ways that you wouldn't think it's the heart, like 用心. That would mean hardworking or pay attention, which you would think it's related to the mind. 小心, be careful, right? So 心, it's written in a way that almost looks like a bowl with a few dots outside of it. It's almost like a bowl with a few splashes of water outside of it. It's really beautiful. I always imagine it like a hanging bowl here. And it catches the mind and it catches the fire from the belly, like the two minds, right? Interchanging here. But the greatest thing about the real meaning of Xing is that the heart and the mind in the lineage has never been broken. It's never been separate. Like, it's not like I have a mind and I have a heart and it's different. That's why if you have ever touched upon any Zen teachings or Chan Buddhism teachings or Buddhism teachings or Taoist teachings, you will see that the English translations will try really hard to make sense of it by saying heart mind. So heart dash mind. Has anyone seen that before? So take a deep breath with me, feel into this energy, heart mind. It's not separate. Your mind and your heart are not separate. They've not always been separate, but they've probably kind of like separated, like substances that sort of started to separate from each other in order to survive in the world that we are in today. So how do we put the heart and the mind back together is probably your question now, right? And this comes back to what I began with, which is it's not about putting them back together. It's actually about seeing and knowing that the heart and the mind come from the same place and are actually one and the same. And now we will get into the complexities of doing so, because we all grew up in a place where we've been given conditionings, we've been given patterns and habits that have created a structure in our lives. You may have acquired it yourself to go about to create a life. And then you had to sacrifice. Somehow you thought, I had to sacrifice my heart in order to do the things I need to do. And then some part of you probably thought, oh, I need to follow my heart, especially when it comes to quote unquote love, right? And so you believe that I don't need to follow my mind. I follow my heart. I follow my heart. My heart is telling me this, so it's like this. And then you may think, oh, you might have gotten into like mindset work even, where they would start telling you like, you have to train your mind. You have to discipline your mind. Don't listen to your body. Your body is the enemy. Your heart is the enemy. Your heart doesn't know. You need to train your mind. You need to train your heart. You need to train everything, right? And then you start to feel like, I need to control my heart because my heart wants a burger, but my mind knows that I need to have a salad. Things like that. You know what I'm saying? It gets more and more confusing, right? And I'm going to take a pause because I'm seeing comments. Jamie saying, I'm lost right now. I know my purpose, but I'm stuck on my path. What's your purpose, Jamie? Eve is saying, not in a place where I can easily post, but I'm listening. Thank you. Yes, perfect. Patsy, good morning. Everything feels right to me, and I do my best to live light, be present. Next steps unknown, feeling quite frustrated by how others seem to not understand where I'm coming from. And take a deep breath. The truth of the matter is there is no others. That's the good news. And maybe a bad news for your intellect to understand. There really is no others. And please breathe. Everything and everyone that you encounter in your life is the face of God reflected back to you. It is an extension of your energy field. It is a mirror of your internal landscape. And I want to be very, very, very clear here. Yes, they are probably real people, but the real view of these people, your real view of these people, there's only one. You can think like, yeah, they're real, they're physical, I can touch them. They have a life. So do you. And to feel that you're not understood by others, and that is stopping you from doing what you need to do, or what you want to do, and letting that be your God. Because when you say that, you're letting them be your God. You're not letting yourself God from within. You're not letting yourself divine your way through, your real divinity live through you. And every sense of this word is without judgment. Nothing here I'm saying is with any judgment. I'm saying this because I want to cut through the bullshit for you once and for all, and straight to the point that these people who don't understand you, they're here to show you that there are parts of you probably that you don't want to understand about yourself, or that you don't accept about yourself just yet. It comes back to just a feedback system. It's really like, okay, I really am so frustrated. Okay, now I'm going to turn it back to you. Can you sit with your frustration? Can you stop feeling sorry for your frustration? Can you stop avoiding your frustration and saying they're bad? They're not bad. They're just an energetic feedback. Energy is always in motion. Even this laptop, this table, everything is vibrating. You're vibrating. Every part of you is continuously vibrating and renewing. Do you know that? But if you feel like you need to be stuck and controlled and everything needs to be the way that you want it to be, then how can they do it? Chi is going to stop flowing. Your energy is going to stop flowing, and everything else will stop flowing. And Jamie is saying, to heal myself from trauma and authentically teach others how to heal. How beautiful. But you are feeling lost. You're stuck on your path because you're turning your gaze outward way too much. Come back to the 0 point field. Who are you? You are source. Who are the other people that you want to heal? Source. Still who you are. Still made of you. Still the same tree that we're talking about, just different leaves. We have to be really, really, really careful about what we are consuming these days. If you are saying that your purpose is to heal yourself, I want to know, the next question from me would be, why do you think you need to heal yourself? Like, what does healing mean to you? Is it because you think there's a part of you that needs to be fixed? That you are too broken? That you're not good enough? That you are lacking? That you are less than? I mean, let's be honest. This is a space you can be fucking honest, because I want to see all parts of you. The 0 point field is a spacious, empty field where all potential is held. And you are the field. You are the field, and you get to choose where you want to go, where you want to direct your energy to. So if let's put it this way, what we just started with together, right? If you were here, we were pouring through the light, right? When you allow the light to enter into your arms, the more open your shoulder joints are, the more qi or light energy can flow through. And the easier it can enter into the rest of your body. But if your joints are tight, they're closed, they're contracted from years and years of building a pattern of holding, of contracting from fear, from defending, from hiding, then it will take a moment, it will take a while, it will take some practice to let the joints open, to let the meridians open, to let the field, the channels open, right? And to come back to the natural state of openness, which is who you are, that empty, luminous field. Look at this. Cheryl is saying healing judgment, and then Jamie is saying, I am a field of chaos, pain, and turmoil. Oops, conversely so, I am an agent of calm, peace, joy, and love. These do not come as easily. They don't come because they've always been there. It's like you enter into a house, but you didn't notice that you are inside a house built of calm, peace, joy, and love. You just took it for granted. The walls are love. The walls here are calm. This roof over you is peace. This door is joy. All you're noticing are the furnitures, the battered furnitures of chaos, pain, turmoil. And the good news is you can always repurpose your furnitures. Break it up and create something new again, or throw it out. Can you feel this? We don't want to avoid pain. We don't want to avoid chaos. We don't want to avoid the turmoil, because the challenges are here for you to enter into, to empty out. They are not sent to you. They are not like here to test you or whatever. The fact that it's appeared is because it manifested through the energetic field in some ways, like There's so many ways to cut and slice this, by the way. It can be like your karma. It can be something that was percolating in the field energetically, formlessly at first, but then because you were ignoring it, that you were avoiding it, and finally it came through. Yada, yada, yada. So many reasons, which we don't need to dwell on, by the way. I feel like the wellness scene, the spiritual world probably have talked about this so many times because, I mean, it works with the algorithm, it attracts attention. But my point here is, and it's not very popular, I know this. My point here is that you don't need to know the reason. The main focus really is cultivating a sense of being stillness, a sense of being love, a sense of being your true nature, so that life is living through you rather than life is throwing things at you, just as I was saying to my client just now together in a beautiful call. And as you say, Jamie's saying, I feel everything so deeply. I feel everything deeply. This makes me a fucking powerful seer, medicine woman, energy worker, ceremonialist. And I own this. I own the fact that I feel everything so deeply. And if I'm not careful, if I let my mind lead me, right? I'm talking about the intellectual mind. I will be slicing and cutting in different ways, dozens of ways in my head, because I feel things deeply and I can make up stories easily. And I can be stuck here. My chi will be sent here all day long and I won't be feeling anything. I will just be like, oh, this is like this, and then this is this, oh my God, that person was like this. Oh, maybe I shouldn't think like this. I should be more compassionate. Like, oh my God, like, so I never gave a chance for here to communicate with here, or for here to communicate with here. Heart, mind, separated. When we keep calculating how we're going to meet life, rather than letting life live through us. And by the way, I can hear it. I can hear some people's mind here going like, oh my God, isn't that scary? Like, I'll be out of control if I let life live through me. I need to control my life. I need to make sure that my meals are delivered at 7 p.m. and I need to make sure that my kids are picked up at 3 p.m. and breathe. Breathe. Carla is saying, I'm new here. You're describing my experience, calculating how to meet life. Yeah. By the way, I'm not telling you to quit your job or quit planning your life. Like, I'm not saying all of this, by the way. I'm really, really just putting it here plainly how much of your life is en route, how much of life you take for granted because you think that just because you planned how the next 3 months are going to go, your life is going to be exactly that. Please breathe. Stillness is really about finding the presence in the moment. Everything else falls away because you become an empty field in the moment. And that's where you access stillness. When you find like those moments where you're like literally so focused on what you're doing, you actually just entered a point of stillness because you're fully present, you're in that moment. And that's absolutely perfect. It's actually really powerful already. But I want to take you deeper. I want to unwrap another layer of stillness here where you can literally feel how much deeper you really are. And in this place, I have really confronted some of my deepest fears, I would say, and also met some of the biggest visions that my human mind could never really grasp or comprehend. Like, I did not plan a life to be what I am today. I never said my dream is to become a ceremonialist or a mentor, a spiritual mentor. Like, didn't even know that existed. And we could plan, we could keep saying, when I grow up, I want to be an accountant. When I grow up, I want to be a wealthy woman. When I grow up, I want to be financial analyst in this big company or whatever. Because our mind just knows all of these things based on what we see around us. But what the stillness responds back to you, like what this depth of stillness gives to you, that is the real visionary work. Like, it's the real deep oracle inside of you that is speaking to you. And please breathe. Stark, welcome. This mirror principle is so profoundly true. I forget, and when I remember this at work, I'm pointed back to myself and I find my way. My challenge is to remember until it's absorbed. It's the trust required that slows me. I'm learning. Oh my God, I love this because we also just touched on trust in the last call. And here's the thing I really want to say to you is that when we understand at the mental level that we have a next level growth that's happening, we know the right things that we need to do. We know, like, okay, I need to remember this. I need to remember. I'm going to say this. I said this to my client once before, but I also want to bring this back to the lineage that I grew up in. The funniest part about it is that we talk about remembering, but I've always understood remembering not at like a brain level. Like, for me, I've always thought like people got this, but I realized like in the modern society, a lot of times we think that when we remember something, we're remembering from the mind, like here, the intellect, the brain, memorizing, remembering the details, like, oh, it's here. Okay, let's cut the scientific shit out because I have no idea about it. But what I can tell you about remembering that I know you can resonate with is that when you remember something, you're actually remembering from a very visceral level. Like, you're remembering someone, but the first thing that comes to you is like you remember how they smell, or like you remember that moment when I touched that shirt, or like when I touch the hair, like I can remember it, like I can feel it tingling in my hands, or I can suddenly activate my nose, like my nose starts to remember that smell, even though that smell is not actually here. But the minute I bring to mind of someone, or like an incident, or like a book, for example, like, do you remember that book that you read? And what I remember is that passage, but I also remember where I read it. I read it in the bus, and then I suddenly remember like how it felt like to sit in the bus. And then I suddenly remember what I was wearing, like all of those things. And so when you're on this growth trajectory, like Stark is saying, you will be met with challenges because you are growing, right? Like the wood element, you are literally piercing through the soil. Like you're a seed, you have to pierce through your kernel, and then you have to burst through the ground, and you have to start pushing your way through. Like a sprout itself, that soft, is pushing through the soil, right? Guys, like literally just have a moment, think about this. These are things that you may call challenges. Once again, remember what I just said. You're meant to enter into the challenges, the delusions, to empty them out. Okay? Stark says, my challenge is to remember until it's absorbed. Okay, let me give you this. You can know on the mental level, like you can absorb it in the mental level, but if your nervous system and your energy field is not calibrated to it, you will never, ever really understand at the depth of your soul. Because you're not allowing the connection to happen. This is why we need to access that stillness. This is why we have to have devotional practices. I'm sorry, I can't cut it any other way. Like, I know we live in a modern society where people are like, oh, just do this for 5 minutes, just do this, like this breath work or that technique or this thing, blah, 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 blah. They're just telling you one side of the story. It's just one side of the story, breath work for nervous system. What about the mindset? What about the mental connection? What about rewiring? What about the energy field? What about the body? The contraction in your body? The muscles that tense up immediately? The brain, some people don't get it mentally still. They still break down. They still think that oh shit, I suck. And by the way, it's a very big priestess wound where you find that little, very smooth, suave voice in you that tells you, you should really know this by now. The priestess wound that is so afraid that she will break things again, because we lived in a time when temples broke down, when we led. What will happen if I lead? If I lead, things will break down. If I lead, oh my God, I don't know enough because things shut down the last time I led. How can I lead? How can I be sure? Priestess wounds, yes? We have to move past these things because we're safe now. We've been safer than ever, to be honest. But to move past these things, we have to align our mind, our energy field, our nervous system, our body. Yeah. All of these things have to come into alignment. And again, it's not a thing you build, like Rome wasn't built overnight. We want to slowly align that. We want to come into a place where this can take place and take space. Yes. So it's not about acquiring more techniques, but rather giving yourself more spaciousness to meet all parts of you. A space where you can be very honest. Like, I dreamt of this kind of space for myself, and my wish is to give this space to women who can bring all their dimensions here. And tea is so profound because the minute we drink living tea, it starts to help you move the chi without saying anything, without having to breathe or do whatever workout. Like, it just moves things because it's born to do that. And that's why we have that as our sacred ally in my mentorship spaces. You get to work with very specific teas that speak to you. Like, what element are you working with right now? What element do you want to pair it with? Like, what are you coming into harmony with? We are all fluid people. Like, we are fluid. We have to move fluidly. Yes, we have to meet changes with this mirror that we're speaking of, because like changes cannot dictate how we live. Even though the world thinks now you're made up of this belief that, oh, because my condition is like this, so I need to be like that. A lot of times people that's the end game for lots of people. But the truth is, if you're living as the creator, if you're living as the divine that you are not dictated by the changes in your life. Quite the contrary, actually. And I think there is also a big misunderstanding when I say the creator of your life, it means you control everything in your life. No. You're letting the greatest thing unfold in your life. You're letting yourself follow your joy moment by moment. And when you meet challenges, when you come up against a big illusion, really, you may feel the chaos. You may feel the pain. I'm not going to lie. But these are things that makes us human. These are things that make us more compassionate. And it needs to start with ourselves. It needs to be who we are. You know, not doing it because other people say we should do it, not doing it because it's the right thing to do, not doing it to score points with other people. Like, we're genuinely compassionate people. And this will cut through the illusion of separation, and it will start to bring us all closer. There's no other people out there. Really, there really isn't. And Carla is saying, yes, we remember through the body. I hated that way of living cerebrally all the time. Loathed it, but couldn't figure out a way out. I had to be brought back into doing. You are speaking to my soul, sis. Oh, thank you, my love. You know, I don't speak from books. I really speak from a level of just having a moment, like growing through like real life experience. You know, I have been in those times when I really thought that I knew, but I just didn't embody it. It was wobbly. It was like I needed to hold that energy. But all of those things are just lies that the mind makes up. The ego, actually, because the heart and the mind are actually one and the same. And we need to start to work in that way where the heart and the mind can talk to each other, right? And eventually become one. And that's where I come to the point where I want to tell you that my work this year, moving into the fire horse year, is to really spread this wisdom and eventually just really take you all off this, literally, I feel like spiritual high horse of like how to ride the horse, because honestly, there's no horse to ride. There's no rider. There's no horse. This is the energy charging forward. You feel that? When when you're in God zone, like a ballerina dancing on stage, so much in her zone, in her genius zone, that she no longer is dancing. There's no dancer in the stage. There's only the dance. The field of radiance that moves people to tears. Like, that is the energy of the no rider, no horse charging forward. You don't need to tame the wild horse. You don't need to do anything like that. It's not about that. It's about coming into the God zone, coming into a place where God can live through you. You can call it God, Tao, the universe, source. I use it interchangeably. I'm not of any religion. What I do know is that the divine lives in you and that you are a bridge between heaven and earth. There's no mistake about it. And you are made of the cosmos. All of the spiritual realm is here to guide us, to support us. But we have to be the ones to choose to say, yeah, this is the way I want to go forward. This is how I want to release myself from the tight grips of control and self-loathing and keep buying into the story of chaos. Because these are just little points for us to enter and empty. Enter and empty. Enter and empty. Easier said than done, obviously. That's why there's a mentorship. That's why I really believe in having someone to guide you, having someone to be your steward, your soul's steward. And this is what I'm here to do, really. because I think it's safe to say we all live in a time when we can so easily access anything. You can read, you can be on a podcast, and you can listen to a YouTube story channel, whatever. But more than ever, people are so confused. Why? People are not sticking to one thing. You do one thing one day and you do another thing another day and then another thing another year. There's no depth. And really the simplest thing is to come back to your stillness, and you can do whatever the fuck you want. Wow, Carla, I was writing about everything you're saying before coming on here with you. Wow, yes. Publish it. Of course you are going to publish it. So I'm taking a deep breath with you. Take a deep breath with me. Stephanie, our body and mind work together. Our body holds it all. That's why I teach yin. Your body holds it all, and also your energy field. Let's not forget that. Let's not forget that. And I love that you teach yin. I love so much about yin I can speak of. And I think you already feel that the stillness itself is very yin. But also another thing that often is not spoken about stillness is that everything yang begins from yin. And so finding the harmony, finding that harmony where the chorus can sing so beautifully for everyone is different. Yeah. So different. I love that the women here today are so receptive and feeling it. And I love that you all are sharing so beautifully as well, because it really shows me how much this work is needed. And I'm just really, really excited about bringing this forward to the world even more. So thank you. I'll take a pause so that you can have a moment. If you have any questions or anything you want to share, please do so now. And again, if you want to join the ceremony tomorrow for free, you can go to the link in my bio and sign up. And don't worry, if you can't come live, you will receive a replay and that you can access until the 17th of February. And then you can also experience, like, what I spoke about, what I'm speaking about, and get a real life experience of this work. All right, my loves. Okay, I'm not seeing anything else popping up, so I'm going to consider it freaking complete. And I love, love, love all of you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for joining me today. And I will see you tomorrow if you're joining me. If not, then I will see you when I see you. Oh, Carla, amazing. I will see you there. I will see you on those platforms. Thank you, Monica. Thank you, Eve. Thank you, Cheryl. Jacqueline, as always, I see you. Stark, thank you. All right, my loves. Big hugs. See you another time.